Hey everyone, this is Jeanette, and everybody's been showcasing the newer cartridges lately from Cricut, and I decided I was going to go ahead and do a quick card using one of the older cartridges, and I'm going to do a Thanksgiving card using the Speaking of Fall. So let's get started. The first thing I did was cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock in half at 5.5 inches and folded it to make my base. I cut a piece of green pattern paper to fit on this portion of the card. Then, using my Speaking of Fall cartridge, I used the pumpkin that's on the B. I used this pumpkin right here, so I cut this at 4.5 inches, and I cut it on the shadow feature first, which gave me this. Then I cut it again with brown pattern paper to give me this. Then I made two cuts with my orange paper. The first one using the complete pumpkins, and the second one I used a cut, and then I just cut the bigger pumpkin free from that one. And I'm going to show you how I went ahead and layered this card. The first thing I did was go ahead and I attached my green stem because I kept having trouble and kept putting it on the wrong way. So I went ahead and attached my green stem to the base of the pumpkin one, and I chalked around it and added a little inking in here to give it dimension for the stem. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this onto here. So, using my glue stick, I go ahead and ink this, get this nice and glued up. Hurry, so I want it to stay blue and not turn white on me. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to here. Making sure to get it in the outline there perfectly. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this to my shadow feature. Add some more glue. And get this nice and goopy so it'll stick. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere that to here as best as I can. So I want the shadow of it to show. I think I'm going to put it just like that. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to ink around this pumpkin using my brown Timber Brown Stays On ink pad. And I'm just going to run it around the pumpkin itself like that, just to give it a little bit of dimension so the pumpkin will stand out more on the pattern paper. Like that. I'm not going to worry about the stem because I'm going to be covering that portion up. So I'm not going to worry about the leaves either. Then I'm going to take a Q-tip. And I'm going to get just a little bit of that brown ink on here. And just kind of highlight that right there, so the line will stick out and show out a little more. Just like that. Okay. Then I took and I cut the leaf of a different pattern paper, and I went ahead and I inked around that to give that one dimension. So I'm going to apply my ink to that one. And on the Cricut cartridge, I cut that one out using my layers and shift key to give me this pattern right here. I'm going to go ahead and attach that to here. Get that out of the way. that just a little. Okay, and there's that pumpkin. So now, using some pop dots, and these are just Walmart pop dots, I'm going to go ahead and add them to the back of the pumpkin. Just to lift it off and give this a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to use a tiny one for the stem, so it won't show. The only thing I don't like about these little ones is sometimes it's hard to get it off. So I'm going to put that right there. Now if I can get this off. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that one here, just to pop it off of the other pumpkin. Oops, it might help if I take the backing off. Sorry. Sometimes I forget to do that. Couldn't figure out why it kept slipping off the bottom layer, but I guess that's why. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up. I want to line it so I still have the dimension of my pumpkin down here, my shadow. Okay. There that is. Like that. Now, I've got some ribbon here, and this is, this was just at the in the dollar bin at Target, and it's by Scrapbooking, and it was the fall colors. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on this using my ATG gun. Just doesn't want to stay put. Just do enough to get it adhered to the back of the card. Okay, I think I'm going to, let me see where I'm going to put this. Probably even along this line right here. Make sure it says fall the right way, right side up. Just going to put that right there. And I'm actually just enough to get that adhered. Then I'm going to use my Scotch tape for the cheater method. Like that. And run my adhesive over the back. Attach it to my card base. Come back here and make sure it's straight. It wasn't too straight there for a second. Like that. And go ahead and attach this here. Ribbon's giving me a little tiny bit of trouble. Okay. Trying to straighten that up. Next, I'm going to take and stick down my pumpkin. My pumpkins. Right about there. Like that. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment using this Happy Thanksgiving stamp set. I think I picked this one up at Joann's. And again, using my Timber Brown Stays on ink, I'm going to go ahead and stamp. Ink it up, and I'm going to stamp Autumn Blessings across the top. And there you go. Just a quick card using the Speaking of Fall cartridge. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Thanks. Bye.